in Bristol, Virginia. Once again, live pictures you're looking at a rally. So how will the House come together on this issue? Because they really hold the key here. Democratic Congresswoman Jackie Speier, California, joining us now to weigh in as we monitor the president's comments. And Congresswoman, you made a very interesting speech this morning on the House floor. You said that basically insurance companies are doing what's called rescission, canceling coverage for folks who have major illnesses. Why did you choose to use your time on the floor to talk about that issue?
Because one of the elements of healthcare reform is getting rid of these heinous practices that insurance companies have been using for decades to increase their profits. And rescission is one of those. That is a situation where you as a insured pay your premiums, you're doing the right thing, all of a sudden you come down with a serious health care condition, and they look at your application and find out, for instance, that you had acne and didn't disclose that, and then they can rescind your coverage, and all of a sudden now you're paying for your serious illness on your own. Rescission should not be part of health care.
Congresswoman, you make a very good point, and it's a horrible story that you told about, but most of us, and this is, I think, one of the selling points that I think Washington is disconnecting from the rest of the country, most of us have health insurance through our employers, so we don't face that situation. We're in groups. Why can't you work on fixing the individual part, the non-group part, the people that are uninsured part? Because a lot of us have health insurance and we're not quite sure that it's all that bad.
Well, if you are in a group coverage situation, you're absolutely right. But that group coverage situation can change tomorrow as premiums continue to escalate. And for employers, that has gone up over 117% over the last 15 years. They're going to start dropping coverage. And some of the saddest stories that I'm hearing in my constituent base are from people who had group coverage, but all of a sudden they have lost their jobs and now are eligible for what's called COBRA, but at a cost of $300 or $400 a month, they can't afford it. So the system is on the brink, and it is now that we should take the steps necessary to fix it. And there's nothing better than the president in which to do that.
All right, Congresswoman, let me ask you this. Where are we with the House? I mean, we basically are hearing still today that we are not going to get any type of meaningful vote before you all leave for your August recesses. Is anything changing today? Are more discussions happening right now on the Hill behind you?
There are a lot of discussions happening. There will probably not be a vote in the Energy and Commerce Committee before we leave, certainly not one on the floor. But I don't think that's a problem. There's nothing wrong with members of Congress reconnecting with their constituents and being apprised of some of the crises that many of them are enduring right now. You know, the Kaiser Family Foundation just came out with a poll that suggests that 2/3 of Americans want a public option. It is nothing to be afraid of. And I think as we go back to our districts, take the time to listen to our constituents, explain the bill, we will be in a better position when we come back to take action.
Congresswoman, one of the biggest arguments here is the speed at which this is trying to be approached. You know, how can you comment right now as far as what you're seeing? And you're saying we need to listen to the American people. We need to hear what they have to say and what their concerns are, but we're still trying to push through with this so quickly. What do you have to say to that?
Well, it's not being pushed through too quickly. It's been 16 years in the making. There have been just hundreds of hours spent by the respective committees in hearings on the measure, over 300 hours. There have been over 40 hearings. So it's a perception that is not supported by the facts. It is a process that has been systematic, but having said that, there's nothing wrong with giving it a little more time either.
Congresswoman Jackie Speier, thank you for being on Fox Business, Congresswoman. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Good to see you.
I want to ask you guys something because